Welcome to KRA-KOOM. I am Octavius and Newman, and this is a review for Star Wars Visions presents The Ninth Jedi. And with me on the show today to discuss this series is Dontae Benn, aka Anime Tay. Dontae, how
What
you
up?
doing, man?
I'm good. What's going on to the crew?
Okay, I
Or as I like to
appreciate you.
call them, croomers.
Yeah. Wow, you had to do it. All right. Okay. Yeah, gang, thank you for joining us. Today, we are going to be breaking down the entire first season, maybe, of Star Wars Visions Presents The Ninth Jedi. If you have not seen this series, we're letting you know right now, this is a spoiler review episode. We're going to be talking about all 8 episodes. We're going to be talking about Star Wars Visions Season 1, Episode 3, I believe it was, and Star Wars Visions Season 3, Episode 5. Either way, there were 2
I
episodes
think
that
it's
came before.
season 1, episode 5, season 3, episode 3.
Either way, there are 2 joints that came before this that we're going to be talking about, and they are up for grabs. So if you do not want to be spoiled, if you don't want to know what had happened, if you haven't seen all of this, or if you're just kind of questioning whether you want to do this or not, this is your spoiler warning. We're going to talk about it. After this, you picked it. Here we go. Spoiler warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's your fault. So Dontae,
What up?
you are, again, as I said before, you're big on anime. This is why it's really important for me to have you for conversations like this, because you're the one with the experience, with the background. You know a lot about what's going on here. So going into this, you got a little bit of we've talked for a while about Star Wars in general.
Yes.
Okay. So in
Yes.
our gut reactions segment, I want to know, did Star Wars Visions Presents The Ninth Jedi meet, exceed, or fall below your overall expectations of this show?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not a big Star Wars fan in the sense of I'm not a fan of the story of Star Wars. I think as far as the movies are concerned, I know a lot of people have different perspectives about comic books and the animated stuff. But if we're just going off of the movies, I think that Star Wars, the story is very weak in a lot of areas, and I love it visually. I think Star Wars is amazing. Like as far as iconography, as far as costume design, set design, spaceships,
Right.
lightsabers, laser
Right.
beams. I think that it's iconic in that sense, but the story of it is kind of weak. Like most of the movies aren't good.
Mm.
So when it comes to Star Wars
Mm.
in general, I don't have very high expectations.
Yeah.
My expectation might be a little bit higher because of Star Wars Visions, because I think Star Wars Visions has been enjoyable since the first season.
Yeah.
So, but this did exceed my expectations overall. Overall, I was like, you know what? I'm a little bit. So it's not that I didn't expect it to be good, because like I said, Star Wars Visions is typically good, but it was a little bit better than I expected it to be when I got through the whole show, and I'll explain more about that later.
Yeah. For me, this exceeded my expectations greatly. Greatly exceeded my expectations. Star Wars Visions, I think, has been some of the best stuff that Star Wars has been putting out lately.
Right. Yeah.
Specifically because they are taking the concept of Star Wars, the aesthetic of Star Wars, but then expanding and moving beyond the Skywalkers and Han Solo and so on and so forth. They're being able to take it, almost is like the aesthetic and the basic shape of what Star Wars is, and moving forward with it. So going into this series, I had a level of excitement because The Ninth Jedi has been some of the best stuff in Star Wars Vision. So overall, I'm like, this is cool. And I'm a fan of anime. I'm getting more and more into anime. And I'm like, this should be dope. I'm in.
Right.
After watching this, I did not expect it to be what it actually was. I didn't expect this to actually. So I was pleasantly surprised. Not that I expected it to be bad, but it was way better than I expected it to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. No, I feel similar. I feel similar. Like I said, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and they were like, but the Clone Wars and this and that, and I'm like, the thing about it for me is like the Clone Wars might contribute to what Star Wars is today, but it's not what Star Wars was built on. So when I say like the story is weak, it's not that every single thing Star Wars ever produced is weak. I'm saying a lot of the things that people have glorified over the years that has made Star Wars what it is, when you go back and watch those stories, it's just a lot of issues as far as like the story is concerned. At least from my perspective, I know people are gonna hate me. People are gonna say X, Y, and Z. That's fine. I get it. Y'all love this stuff.
Yeah, the
But,
internet.
you know what I mean? I get
Such
it. I
such
get
is
it.
the internet. Yeah.
I'm just here to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? If you want to lie to yourself, that's fine. I'm just here to be honest, you know?
Right.
So yeah. To your point, Star Wars, like you said, I expected it to be good because we've seen, like, you know, when you go back and watch Vision season 1, 2, 3, but like when you watch this, it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know that y'all were gonna go in like this.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah. So that's the gut reactions. Let's get a little bit more into the deep dive here.
Yeah.
What is it that stands out for you when it comes to this? Because we're saying, yeah, it was better than we expected, but I think the next step beyond that is like, okay, so tell me more. Like, what specifically is it for you that was like, yo, this kind of went above and beyond?
Yeah, so one, I think seeing a lot of the Star Wars themes in a anime, more kind of Asian context, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the themes fit better. So like this whole idea of like the master, apprentice, the Padawan, all of that stuff in this context seems like it fit more. Where sometimes when you see it in like a mainstream American movie context, it feels like watered down. It feels like
Mm-hmm.
they can't really go all the way there. um, so seeing again like this whole like wandering samurai theme, this
Yeah, Ronan.
masterless Jedi, the Ronin theme, I just feel like it fit better in this context in this story, and it allowed them to kind of like flesh it out with more creativity and imagination because they don't have to stick to the boundaries of, you know, real live shooting and the limitations that might put on it.
Yeah.
With, you know, with budgets and all that other kind of stuff, they have freedom to just explore stuff in a really unique way and to dive into those themes again in this anime context. I think that was one of the major things where me and you have talked about this before, where we both love the Mandalorian
Yes.
because we think that that's one of the best things that Star Wars has put out, and it's always this conversation that we've talked about, which is like the Jedi versus the Mandalorian. Like, what team would you rather choose? Are you team Jedi? Or you
Right.
team Mandalore? And I
Right.
think the thing about that is like you get to see the Mandalorians being dope and doing cool stuff. Where the Jedi, if you watch the movies, they
Mm-hmm.
just getting beat up. Like they just getting trashed. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Palpatine says Order 66, and they don't put up
Execute
any fight.
Order 66.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, so they keep telling you like how amazing the Jedi are. And again, I'm not talking about Clone Wars or comic books. I understand that those things have dope stuff in it. But I'm
Right.
just saying, as far as like the mainstream aspect of Star Wars, that mainstream movie thread, the Jedi don't really look cool. But in this,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
Jedi are flexing.
Yes.
The Jedi are going to work when it comes to how they're moving and acting and just how powerful they are, how they wield the Force. They make the Force seem dope.
Right.
Like if you watch
Right.
the movies, you don't know what the Force is. On one
Mm-hmm.
movie, the Force is getting Anakin's mom pregnant. On another, on a, in another movie, in another movie,
wait, wait a
Ray.
minute.
I'm just saying that's in the movie. Am I wrong about that?
Hold
Episode
on a
one. Episode
second.
one.
Wait, in what movie did the forces get Anakin's mom
In Star
pregnant?
Wars Episode 1, they're like, "Who's
Right,
Anakin's
right.
dad?" He has no dad. What? There's the
Yeah.
Force? Is this immaculate conception from the Force?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Like,
basically like
okay,
Mary and Joseph. But it's basically
I
that.
guess
It's
that's
like,
okay. Fine, all right.
yeah.
That's what you say. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so this contextualized it a little bit better for me. It helped me to understand, like, oh, I think I get the Force a little bit better in this than I have in other things.
Yeah. That's hilarious. As you can see, that's very funny to me. But there's a lot of things about what Star Wars tells you about the Jedis
Right.
versus what they show you about the Jedis.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like the lore and the stories and the possibilities and what I had heard, it's almost like Odysseus level storytelling. I heard this, I heard that. But when you actually watch these live action movies and you see what the Jedis do, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's dope. But I think in this movie, they show you a Jedi in a way where you're like, oh,
Right.
this is the power and the possibility of a Jedi. This is what it could possibly be aesthetically, visually, to utilize the Force and showcase what it means to be a Jedi visually. And I think this medium of animation and the specific genre of animation in anime allowed them to extend the possibilities visually for what could really happen if somebody was that strong with the Force and could really wield a lightsaber. And as you're saying, the samurai, because a lot of things that we know or maybe don't know, the lightsabers and all that kind of stuff were inspired by samurai movies from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That's part of what that aesthetic comes from. These are the references that, Jedis and lightsabers come from. It's meant to be like a samurai sword. So to see it showcased, like even sometimes the way Kara stands, like she turns the lightsaber off and poses as though she's going to draw the sword out of, it's very much like, oh, this is calling back to the original source material.
Right.
Beyond the original source material of Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
I felt the same way. It's like, oh, this is the origin and it fits better in a context that comes from a similar space that these ideas come from. You know what I'm saying? Now, and the thing about anime is like anime is really, at least I think my favorite anime is character driven.
Yeah.
And it's always dope when you have several different characters that you can like. Like when you got Lightsaber over here doing this thing, you got Kara over. That's her name, right? Kara, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Kara over here doing this,
or La Kara, I think.
You got my man. Was it Nawam? Nawam was tough. You know what I'm saying? He got the Sasuke look. He got the emo, sexy flexy anime swag
the
going on.
Super calm voice. That is
exactly. Even when his helmet is on, his helmet's dope. Like so, because you have all of these characters that are kind of like. It's like it creates a interesting tension, and you're like looking forward to like you see what Kara and Nawam fight is looking like, but you want to see Nawam and Lajima fight because the way they're showing those two throughout the story, you like, oh, if Nawam is doing this and Lajima's doing this, and he got the silver blade, and he got like you want to see what that face off looks like, so it builds this interesting tension as the show goes on. Because of how dope they've made the characters, right? And that's another thing. Like I don't know, like Star Wars has beloved characters, but it's like for different reasons. Like people love Han Solo, but like it's because Han Solo is charming and charismatic in a funny way. It's not like It's not because he's like cool in action scenes or things like that. People love Luke, of course. But
these are characters from a different time, though, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like they're cool in the same way that a new character would be cool.
Right. Exactly.
The 2020s. They're cool in reference to stuff that is before we were born. You know what I'm saying? So there's a level of appreciation and respect that we can give to it. But I get what you're saying, where it's just kind of like in comparison to, I don't know, what a great example would be, like it leaves something wanting. You can respect it, but also acknowledge like it's not the same thing.
Right. And then even if you talk about like Luke has really come to be Luke in the is that the Empire Strikes Back, the third movie that came out in the 80s of the first.
Wait, what are you saying?
I said what's the one where Luke and them defeat Vader? Is that that's not the Empire Strikes Back? Is that no, that's number 2.
So A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. So in Return of the Jedi, Luke is finally like, I'm enlightened. I've mastered the ways of the Jedi. I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? So you get that. And then the next time you see him doing something relatively cool is Mandalorian season 1, when he comes in and, he comes to
the hallway scene.
Exactly. So so it's just really Luke. Right. And that's been one of your critiques over the years is like, all right, can we get off of Luke? I mean, Anakin's dope.
Yeah.
Too, it's like, can we get off of
the Skywalker saga? Enough.
Yes.
Hey, let me tell you something, guys. If I can just keep it real, can I have a moment real quick, Dontae?
Tell them truth.
Star Wars.
Tell them like
Star
it is,
Wars.
bro.
I would love it.
Intimidate you, man.
If we could move beyond the Skywalker saga, I would love it if we could move beyond if I never hear the name Skywalker again, that would actually be okay. Because we've spent time with these people since before I was even born and even to now. You're introducing new characters and you have to connect them back to being Skywalkers. I think what's going on right now, even with Visions, is a perfect example of what happens if you take Star Wars, the world, the weapons, the droids, the aesthetic, all the things you've spent multiple lifetimes and generations in building, and allow somebody else to move beyond what the original people came up with. Right. You're telling me a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, that right there, you're telling me there's a long period of time to explore in a galaxy. A galaxy is humongous, far, far away, so well beyond where we are right now. That communicates something that's almost infinite to imagine. And in that infinitum, Skywalkers, every single time, it comes down to Skywalkers. So when you look at Visions, they're going, well, what if we didn't have to be constantly latched down to Skywalkers?
Right.
What if we didn't have to keep paying homage and looking backwards to what happened before? That's why I think this is so successful, because they're actually not having to carry the baggage of all the things that came before it, but being able to be inspired and propelled forward from that.
Yeah, it's letting your brain think of new ideas. And that's the other thing too. Like when you watch this, you aren't thinking about the Skywalkers at all. It actually opens up the door for so much more. It makes you wonder what other stories can be told, what else can be explored in this universe.
Exactly.
Cara is dope. Like to me, like her character design is kind of boring, but when you see her,
the character development though,
your car is working. Like she putting in work all throughout the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I will say, like I feel like when I watched the first episode, which is technically in Star Wars Vision Season 1, wasn't the theme that somebody wanted to create a order of Sith Lords? Did I make that?
I don't remember 100%. That's not even what I took away from that. What I took away was, again, a lot of the tropes and stories that we've seen before is like, this person is like Kara's father is a sabersmith, a blacksmith. Yep. You know what I mean? And he's been commissioned to make lightsabers. And we find out that he's been commissioned to make lightsabers by what we thought was the villain. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But because the Jedi Order has been gone for a long time, like even think about the setup of that. The Jedi Order is gone. It's over. Light side, dark side, they don't exist no more. Okay, understood. So that means lightsabers are gone now too. Okay, whoa, we're totally setting up something completely different now.
Right.
And now we've got this guy who is making lightsabers, who's been commissioned to do so, and he's got this daughter. That's a really interesting setup. That's completely different from what we've seen elsewhere. So now we've got this guy who's trying to draw, are there Force sensitive people anymore? Are there Jedi anymore? And even part of what's going on is like the Jedi are long gone. The Jedi don't exist anymore. What the heck is a kyber crystal? All this kind of stuff. The setup is going, everything you know about Star Wars and all the stuff you like, assume we're kind of starting over. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? That's the beginning part. And then him drawing these people together because they found lightsabers. We find out that I think 2 of them are like genuine people who really might be Force sensitive, might be Jedis, but the rest of them, the other 7, have been killed by Sith. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And the Sith,
that's the beginning as I remember it.
Yeah, and the Sith have infiltrated and they're trying to get their own Jedi. It's also interesting too because one of the things throughout the show is when you hand a former Jedi a lightsaber, it's almost like he comes back to being a Jedi. Like that symbolism is really important. It's also the one scene. Remember the dude who doesn't have a saber? He got like the little spear. It's almost like he's not even like up to his full power because he doesn't have an actual saber. And now I'm just getting him out of here like he just light work. But yeah, I think that's really interesting. And even, you know, the main plot is they snatch up Kara's dad, Elijah, and now her motivation is, how do we get my father back? I got to go save my father. So she runs into this dude, Jorah, who does look kind of like, you do expect him to be the bad guy because he look a little shady.
Look like it, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of wonder throughout the whole show, like, is this dude shady? Because that's the thing about Star Wars. They'll have some obviously shady characters in the show,
right?
But people won't recognize
big
them. Like,
black mask, covered in full black, crazy deep voice. You're like, this must be the bad guy, yeah.
Or old white dude who's just kind of like, we need somebody to run the Republic now. Who's it going to be? Oh no, not me. I don't.
Yeah.
It's like clearly this dude's evil the whole time, and everybody's just like, yeah, let's put him in charge. So it does take some of that familiarity with an idea of like who you would think is obviously the bad guy here is not the initial bad guy of the show. He's actually like a mentor. He's actually more like an Obi-Wan character than he is a Vader character.
Right. A lot of the there's a lot of amazing moments that I want to talk about, but I'll get to that. I want to talk a little bit about what this show is doing differently that I think really makes the show unique and stand out. We see a mechanism in the storytelling that has to do with the lightsaber. And the color of the lightsaber, which I thought was so interesting. When I was young, this is kind of how I thought it worked. I thought that the color of the lightsaber was based upon whether you were good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Like good guys got the green one or the blue one, and bad guys got the red one. I thought that was just kind of like it was issued that way. You know what I mean? But this story kind of deals with this kyber crystal concept differently. I think, if I remember correctly, part of what it actually is in the lore is that when you get a kyber crystal, part of what happens is you have to harvest it, and you have this kind of moment, and in harvesting it, it becomes a certain kind of color. And a kyber crystal can get turned to red. I don't even want to get into all that because I know I'm probably not getting it right.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to be connected to their emotions as well, like where they were emotionally.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the thing that I love about it. They decide in this one to utilize the lightsaber as a mechanism to tell you about where your heart is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It reveals who you are. This is a mechanism that I have never seen Star Wars do in this way. And I'm just like, I like this better. You know what I'm saying? I like this better for it to showcase the lightsaber is responding, or the kyber crystal is responding to you. And they've used it in so many moments where striking or sparking the lightsaber allows you to go, oh, it reveals something about me. It's green, it's red, it's silver. Silver representing this almost balanced like determination. And the whole conversation about the light side and the dark side and being good versus being bad, all of these things that it almost seems like Star Wars is like imprisoned to. Like the stories have to be like, oh, we can't go beyond what the rules are of how lightsabers work. And oh, you can't be on the light side, you can't be on the dark side. All this whole series kind of just goes, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that there's a more interesting way to utilize these elements of the story. I'm going to say, we're going to learn about who you are, and you're going to learn about who you are by the lightsaber. And we're going to challenge how you even talk and think about the light and the dark side. I love that element of this series.
Yeah, and like you said, we talked about, they bring that in really early because Lajima has all these lightsabers and he's trying to get them to people. And to your point, it tells you where the character is in the journey based on where their lightsaber is. So this whole time, as they're interacting with each other, they're pushing and pulling each other to grow, to expand, to become better. And you see that change in their lightsabers. Now, mind you, this may be just me. Maybe I'm just an idiot and all that stuff. But I wasn't clear that you needed the Force to use the lightsabers. Like the lightsaber is the lightsaber you utilizing the Force through to make the beam come, or does it have a switch like the toys do? Like
so from what I understand. So first of all, I've heard many different things. From what I understand, depending upon whether we're talking about the movie storytelling and lore, I think anybody can pick up a lightsaber and turn it on. You know what I'm saying? I think it is about your ability to wield it with a level of proficiency that's where the Force comes in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't think it's like Thor's hammer where you can't pick up a lightsaber and turn it on unless you have the Force. It's more so like, what can you do with it when you get it? Because we saw Finn pick up a lightsaber, and you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people were like, wait, he shouldn't be able to wield the lightsaber like that.
Right.
But it's like, I mean, who can't pick up a lightsaber and turn it on? You feel me?
But that's the thing. I think, to me personally, is I like the idea of utilizing the Force to make it, shoot the beam out, because it ties a deeper connection with the Jedi. For me personally, it's kind of like it gives you a purpose in like the lightsabers being directly connected to the Jedi, right? To me, that makes sense, because it's like, well, if anybody can do this and anybody can use the Force any kind of way, then you guys aren't special. But if you guys have been trained to utilize the Force and you are Force sensitive, and therefore you have a tool where you can utilize the Force in this very specific way, to me, I like that a little bit better. And I think it ties into the story a little bit better, outside of the fact that you had that one bounty hunter dude who just was like, I'm on your side now.
I think his name was Beto or something like that. Something like that, yeah. I liked that character. And I liked the idea that they were even challenging this is what I'm saying. They were challenging no problem. They were challenging even who can be a Jedi. What does it mean to be a Jedi? It's not just holding a lightsaber. It is not just being of a certain bloodline. It is not being good or bad in totality.
Right. Anybody could be a Skywalker, right? Anybody could just say it at the end of anybody could just be like, hey, what's your last name?
You gotta be you gotta hey, whole list. See, I knew it. But this is what I'm saying. This is the stuff that this show is doing that I think challenges the original stuff. And I'm like, I like this better. Yeah. I like it better that Star Wars does this thing where it's like, in order to be a Jedi and be on the side of the light, you have to like be all one thing. Or in order to be on the dark side, you got to be all one thing. I say this, and I've said this to you. I think Anakin going to the dark side is the Jedi Council's fault.
Right.
I think it's their fault, because this man's like, I love someone. You're not allowed. Why can't I love someone?
Right.
And it's like, all this nigga was doing was asking questions, and y'all refused to answer this man's questions.
Yeah, he was one curious. In the whole story with a love interest. Nobody else.
You know what I mean?
They need to relax. Go on some dates.
Go out and grab a slice, catch a movie. You know what I mean? Drink some blue milk together. Do something.
It's like, they're going to kill my mom and dad. I mean, not my dad. They're going to kill my... He don't got no dad. The Force is his dad. They're going to kill my mom. Yeah. He's like, don't worry about that, young boy.
Nah.
Sit down, relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm going to take this in my own hands. I'm going to go kill
everybody. And then
what
happens? When Palpatine comes through and goes, you're worried about someone dying. I've heard of powers that are able to help people come back from death. I'm just saying. And then, of course, what's Anakin going to do? What? Huh? Tell me. And what does he do? He answers his questions. We don't like necessarily the answers he gave. We understand that he manipulated him. But my point is, they were so beholden to this I think that this show is almost a commentary. It's criticizing even Star Wars.
Right. In some ways. Yep.
Yeah, it puts the words in certain people's mouth. This whole concept of what Lajima is, because I got spun around with the different characters' names.
Yeah, Lajima is the blacksmith, the swordsmith, the sabersmith.
And
daughter is Kara. Nawam's the bad guy.
Nawam. Okay, Nawam, his whole concept being like, you know what I mean? I'm emotionless. I'm feelingless. I'm not good or bad. I'm kind of like above, beyond. And when you see him in this dark costume and he sparks his lightsaber and it's not red, you're like, what that mean? Well, hold on a second, because it's supposed to be red. He has to be a bad guy, right? He's doing bad things. It's even challenging the way that you understand Star Wars to go, well, how is he not bad, but he seems to be doing bad things? And this is a part where I want to I think we can just get to some of our favorite parts of this, because I have one, because I wrote down some of the transcript here of what actually happened. We see the situation that this show is saying, hey, I don't think it's just about being good or bad. It's about the decisions you're making and how you're going to move forward. You know what I'm saying? So we see Kara go ham sandwich. Kara goes in there and kills everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, she goes and kills everybody. And in the process, her lightsaber turns red. And I think in this moment is even challenging us as the watcher to go, oh, is she going to the dark side? Is she a bad guy now? And she gets captured, you know, she's locked up and she's in the cell and she's sitting here going like crying and sad and all this kind of stuff. And Force and Juro has died at this point. You know what I'm saying? So this is Dark Night of the Soul, terrible moment.
Right.
And she's crying and Juro shows up. Force goes to Juro and says, what's wrong, Kara? And Kara goes, I gave in to the dark side. I failed you. Right? It makes sense. This character is going like, I've done the worst thing I can do. I didn't live up to the expectations of what a Jedi is supposed to be, of what a Force wielder, someone with one of my father's life. I'm the worst. I can't do nothing. So what's Juro say? Kara, why would you think something like that? And she explains, because when it mattered, I couldn't control my feelings. And then my lightsaber, it turned red. I think that the writers are talking to us. They're going, you know, all the stuff that makes these people bad, all the things that we've heard for our whole lifetimes. I'm about to challenge it. Juro says, all those lightsabers your father forged, they have the ability to reflect the wielder's thoughts and emotions. For example, the color red symbolizes the feelings of rage, hatred, and fear. Being a Jedi doesn't mean not having those feelings. Right. As long as you don't let them control you, then you will not succumb to the dark side. I'm like, amen. Pass a collection plate around. Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how I've never heard Star Wars outside of something like this just say it that plainly. Because a lot of what Star Wars does is goes, you're not supposed to have feelings. Feelings are bad. You're not supposed to have love interest. You're not supposed to love people. The best way is to do nothing, just state of nothingness, the state of enlightenment. And that's what our antagonist is actually doing. You know what I'm saying? And in this moment, they're actually challenging the whole foundation. So skipping forward a little bit, Juro says, trust in the Force. And if you do, you'll be naturally guided to the answers you seek. The Force flows through every single living thing. So as long as we follow wherever it guides us, we will find our true path. I'm like, hey, Star Wars, hand it over to this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This guy understands the philosophy underneath all of it. Because to me, if we were to like lean more in this direction of how we think and understand this stuff, I think we would be able to make this more accessible and even kind of grow some of this stuff up and move beyond what they've been giving us. This is more of this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think it allows for better storytelling because the character is allowed to grow through the stages. They're not just a monotone character like what you're talking about. So to your point, once it's red, that means you're bad. And if it's blue, it means you're good. But you're stuck in those spaces. You're stuck in that good and bad categorization.
And that's not how we are as humans, bro. That's not us.
Exactly. Like, so sometimes you are angry. So Kara has to go through the emotions and process those emotions. Why am I angry? Why do I feel like this? How do I grow to have more control over my emotions? And to your point, Jorah does a good job as a dead mentor who comes back as a Force ghost, which we see happen in Star Wars all the time. He's doing a good job. He's doing a good job helping his Padawan, in a sense, navigate through these emotions, whereas the Jedi Council in the movies kind of just judge you and they just kind of leave you in the corner. They condemn you to a thing, right? They don't help you to navigate, which is what Palpatine was doing for Anakin, even though he had shady intentions. He's helping. He's guiding Anakin. He's just guiding him the wrong way because nobody else will guide him at all, right? So most of the Jedi's advice is to do nothing. It's not to explore, it's not to confront, it's not to engage, it's not to ponder and meditate, you know what I'm saying? Which leads to Kara's growth. And it leads to a lot of their growth over the entire show. Even now, he's thinking, yo, I'm empty. I've reached that enlightened state where nothing bothers me. Then we see at the end that saber turn red, and he's like, impossible. Me?
What?
Me angry?
Me?
Yeah, exactly.
Angry? Impossible. It can't be. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nigga, you've been wilding this entire 8 episodes. Of course, there's something wrong. Yes.
So it allows us to connect more with the characters and how they grow through their emotional journey. Because if you've lived any amount of life, you experience that on your own. You've experienced that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Yes. We've all made mistakes, whether we are husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, boyfriends, girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? We've all had that day where we've done the wrong thing. And we are just like Kara. We're like, I think part of what Kara says is, I'm done. I'm not going to do anything else. I can't risk making another mistake like that. If I haven't looked myself in the mirror and said the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm not good, cut out to be a father. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I can't believe I did that or didn't do that. I said that or didn't say that. I can't believe, you know what I mean? I'm just not who I thought I was going to be. I might as well quit. And Juro's like, why would you quit? Who told you that? He, you know, he like excavates. Where'd you get that from? Did I teach you that? Is that what I told you? Well, that's what they're saying. And it's like, hey, I'm not saying you shouldn't feel. That's not even why your dad made them things. He didn't make them to expose who you are forever. It's telling you where you're at right now. It's about being present in this current moment right now. What's going on right now? And what you're going to do next gets to determine what your future is going to be, not your past. Come on, somebody. See, somebody right now ought to listen to what I'm saying. No, but seriously, I mean, like, I'm watching this and I'm going like, yo, I've never seen Star Wars impact me with the level of depth of what the story is really about like this.
Right. It also, let me say a couple things. One of the appeals about it is it also felt vintage. It felt like vintage anime aesthetic.
Aesthetically.
Yeah. It felt like a modern version of the 80s, early 90s.
You know, I mess with that.
Right, exactly. I think that's a part of the appeal, especially for us. Now, I will say, I like the latter half of the show better than the earlier half.
Episode 4 on.
Yes.
It picked up massively.
Exactly. And I'm saying that because I would recommend the show, but it's also like you have to sit with it long enough to allow it to ramp up. I think Star Wars has a common storytelling theme, which sometimes is like they don't do a good job of opening another loop at the end of the episode that makes you feel compelled to move forward. Like you ever, like I know for myself, let's say I'm binge watching something late at night and it's getting late and I'm like, I know I should go to sleep, but I gotta see what's happening next. And I'm staying up longer than I should because I want to keep going. It doesn't give you that feeling until the later half. And I think a part of that is because each episode isn't giving you a loop to the next one that makes you feel compelled. It's not that it's bad, but even in like The Mandalorian, some people be like The Mandalorian is slow. But a part of why they say that is because in the Mandalorian segments, they're opening a story loop in the beginning of the episode and they're closing it in the end. And you feel like, all right, I'm done. I don't have to go back and watch. There's nothing left for me to figure out. They didn't leave anything open in my brain where I want to go back to the next episode and close that loop. And I wish that for some of their better stuff, Star Wars did a better job on that, so that people felt compelled to move forward because it can be easy to fall off before episode 4, just because if life is happening, if you got kids, if you got a job, if you just got things going on, it's kind of easy to just be like, oh, I just didn't pick it up and return. Not that it was bad, but I just got caught up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Is there any other moment for you that was like one of the big moments in the show that stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, so when Kara escapes out of her cell, and she's like, she has a conversation with Jorah. She does a meditation. She reaches. She's like, man, where my lightsaber at? Hey, come over here. She cuts herself.
She kind of has a Mjolnir moment where she draws it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Fire. Yeah.
Then she's out there fighting, and she's doing the dude has the fog and the smoke around her. She's trying to see where he's at.
Yes.
And she's like, you know what? Let me calm down. and she starts to like close the blade, then open it every time she strikes, like that whole thing,
Right.
which is also a good way to show the growth, right?
Yes.
Like not just tell you she's grown and everything looks the same.
Right.
She's fighting differently. Her fighting style is different than it was before.
Yes.
Which communicates how she's grown. That was dope. Then she tells the dude, like, all right, bro, you work for me now. He like,
Yeah.
say no more. You know what I'm saying? The last couple fight scenes was fire. Like Lajima and Nawam was going at it. Then you got Nawam.
Why do you think his saber was shorter? Why did he make his shorter?
So what I remember when I don't know if you remember, but in the Visions season 1, episode 5 or whatever, for that first episode of this the Ninth Jedi, when Kara first grabs it, hers is shorter. And he kind of communicates something to her, like, as you'll grow and mature, it'll change length, or you'll be able to do this, that, and third. I just felt like Lajima was so in tune with the Kyber crystal, he could just do whatever he want. He could just shorten it, extend it. You know what I mean? They even show when he goes and he touches the giant Kyber crystal that they're trying to use to shoot out the beam.
Right.
I will say, though, Lajima was giving me shady vibes the whole time. I was kind of like...
I think that was meant to throw us off.
Yeah, I'm like, I like him, but is he like secretly a... You know what I mean? Like low-key grimy on the low, you know? But he seemed to have be more in tune with the Kyber crystal. So to me, it seems like he just had more control over the saber than anybody else. That's what I got. I could be wrong on that, but that's what it gave me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But those last couple fight scenes, I'm like, this right here is phenomenal.
Kara's lightsaber turns green, I believe it is. I think that's the first green lightsaber we've seen in the entire series. I think it could be. And you see her like go through him and don't cut him down. And I'm sitting over here like, what does that mean? I don't, what's happening? Is he dead already? Is he whatever? And then even when you think he dies, you're just like, man, we didn't see a cut or anything. And then when it reveals that she's turning off the lightsaber with the Force, I'm just like, this might be the most amazing lightsaber Force wielder we have ever seen.
Right.
Like for her to be so good, and we've seen the character development and growth throughout 8 episodes of the season and 10, including the other 2. We've seen this growth throughout the entire time to see her get to the point where she's like, I ain't even got to kill you.
Right.
And his lightsaber turns red, and it's almost like he falls out of shame. He falls out of embarrassment. He falls out of like disbelief. And like his soul left his body to like watch him and be like, you have been so bested that like you can't even comprehend it, because he thought he had reached this level of enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? And then after we because I agree, fight scenes are amazing, but to see the end come, to see Kara's dad go up to him in prison and then hand him the lightsaber back. Right. And in that moment, you're kind of thinking like, man, why is he doing that? But you recognize, it's almost like to determine where's your heart now. Because Kara says at the end of it, when his lightsaber turns red, he says, see, your blade is showing what the color of your heart is now. You know what I'm saying? So we hear the lightsaber spark and the show ends. It does not tell us what the answer is.
On that though. I'm sorry.
It does not tell us what the answer is, but it leaves us with that cliffhanger. But there's a level of satisfaction to go, does it matter? You know what I'm saying? To you, watcher.
Yeah. So here's my question on that. Because I'm not convinced Lajim was a good guy. Right.
But I think that's the point, isn't it? Like,
I guess,
what's it mean to be a good guy? We're all bad guys.
I'm down for it if we're going to get a season 2.
And we need season 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I'm just wondering the whole time, I'm like, is this a bigger plot that we aren't familiar with that has been going on between Lajima and Nawam the entire time? That's what I'm thinking. Because the first thing is Lajima helps him with the crystal, right? Then he helps him with the crystal.
Nah,
that's
he
what
was calling him master the whole time. It's like, stop calling me master. You making it hot. Stop calling me that.
So yeah, exactly. He was calling him master the whole time. And then they think that he killed him, and Azim was
and he
not
said he
dead.
killed him.
Exactly. He's not dead, right?
Now wait a damn minute. Hold on. Now you got me thinking.
And they're smiling, and I'm like, what? They've been in cahoots this whole time? So it is left on the cliffhanger. We don't know. But that's what I was got from that.
You gotta.
Is the force maybe strong in me?
You might be. Okay. All right. So let's talk letter grades. Grades. What do you got? This might be a limited series. This might be season 1. What you got? Star Wars Visions presents.
I definitely want more of this. There's a thing. There's a manga that they put out. I seen earlier today by Viz Media. That was like a manga for another Star Wars Visions episode. Recently, which I might tap into. But the letter grade is tough for me, man, because I think the whole thing was good. I just think that the latter half picked up steam in a way that, like, if this is where I'm at as far as like the good with the first half, the latter half has me here.
Right.
So I'm debating, like, do I judge just I may want to say A-.
Let the force guide you. Let the force guide you. You know what I mean?
I might want to say A-, I think.
I have it at an A, man. I got it at an A because I have to just be true to how I feel about it, the impact, what it means for me. Like, if I would say if this is the only Star Wars thing you ever consumed,
right?
Awesome, great. Not saying that we want that, but if we just think about
I want
a complete, if we just look at this as a complete story, and let's say you opened the book, you read a book, you closed the book, I'd be like, that's an A, that's good,
right.
I like that, and especially now when I turn my head and I look at all the other stuff that Star Wars has been doing, I'm just like, this is some of the best stuff that I've seen. Star Wars,
definitely
more of this, please.
Invest your money in this. Some of that other stuff that y'all got going on, you don't need all that. Just invest more into this kind of stuff. I'm gonna go back and probably rewatch it just because, like I said, the latter half, I want to kind of rewatch it with the whole thing in mind and see how I take it, if I'm able to appreciate it a little bit more, because some parts again can feel slow. Not that anything bad is happening, but it's just, you're just not as connected. Like, even with the whole, you like the characters, you care about the characters more than you care about the entire plot of the thing.
Right.
It's not as important whether Nawam uses his laser beam to do X, Y, and Z. Those things are kind of just like in the background.
Yeah, it's like we need to advance the story, but it's really about the relationships and the interaction between these people.
Exactly. And I think so. When the parts of the story that focus more on the story aspect are the things that you care less about, and when you start to see how the actual characters play a role and how they're growing, what they're challenging, because they're challenging each other throughout this thing. It's a conversation between all of them about who's real and who's not. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
And you got these 3 characters who are this trifecta of people who can utilize this silver blade, but they're all different. They all play different roles, even in their ability to do that. So I want to go back and watch it with that in mind, and not so much of the story about like who's the good guy, who's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Is he going to blow up the planet or not? Are they going to be able to get the reinforcements to help them fight this war? That stuff doesn't matter as much as the character dynamics that we see going on in the show.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm gonna go A-. That's my official grade.
Okay.
Maybe I'll rewatch it and give it an A, but yeah.
Okay.
That was A-.
Well, this is a great opportunity to invite those watching and listening in. What is your grade for Star Wars Visions presents The Ninth Jedi? Let us know. Leave us a comment. If you have not subscribed to KRA-KOOM, now is a great time to do so. Please subscribe, hit the bell so you can be informed the next time we show up on your feed. I am at Octavius Was Here on all socials. You can follow our show at KRA-KOOM. That's KRA-KOOM on YouTube. We are KRA-KOOM Media everywhere else. Dontae, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram at Dontae Benn. Find me on TikTok at Sensei Tay. Now, you want?
Oh, you got your joint to be Sensei Tay. Okay,
that's right, man. I'm saying
you just close to Anime Tay, but didn't want to go to. Okay, I understand.
Hey, bro, my real name, I got a lot of AKAs. You can just call me AKA Tay. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. All right.
Anime Tay. Tay songs. LL Cool Tay.
Oh Lord.
tablespoon, whatever, bro. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's great.
But yeah, my that's the only two things I'm on. I'm on Facebook or whatever, but I'm not really
Okay.
like that. So you gonna find me Instagram Dontae Benn, TikTok Sensei Tay. That's it. Yep.
All right. So this has been great. Thank you for checking out what we got going on here. Please share the show with somebody else and tune in next time. We'll see y'all then. Peace.